So I guess they're more like it. I don't know, but like also like it's also like teams don't want to so when you train a lot of like the I'm going to be coming to try it. You want to get your ass if I'm going to lose my first case, I don't want to be academic. Yeah, no, wireless is the worst spot. Even barristers. In Order of Barristers, they start here. So, I don't know, it's just when I was doing this, like another company. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like living with the income tax there.
We are going to get started in about 4-ish minutes. Ish being the strongest.
I think the West Coast harder for different reasons. And they think that like the East Coast is more expensive. Like the amount of times I've gone to this East Coast team get away from me. I literally had a judge leave that was like kids that halfway through. Just thought, let's try this again. This is not a I'm like, that's holy shit. Redo it completely. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I say game please import every that's not the coach. We do it. So we had to start with the reason why they do it. And then also like the first thing here, though it doesn't make sense. It's this is the so you know when you get like the loss, like actually a couple in real life, but you're gonna go for that guy. And if it's been how far, like just exactly. And then also like imagine trying to get a ball and it's like
oh, yeah, we're in. The saddest part of my day is probably knowing that I spent like I'm not gonna get to eat it. All of it? All of it's been pretty good. Yes. Okay. And let's look at you. So I have to. Okay. And that's a problem.
The guy was talking about one He's so funny. Look it out! Oh well, you know, like I did good. That's what they call bar. And they're like, oh, what's this? What is it? And he's like, so why do I want to work hard to be like fucking He's a really nice guy. One of those people that you talk to is like weird like you have to ask that's like harder I work Your memory. I was at you want to go solo? Because like I don't have the cash. So his thing is like I've just been given I don't know how to actually get but it was interesting stuff like he had this case against another and they filed that it's a confidential and it's something like there are 3 factors that they consider right? They address each factor specifically. He disclosed it, and then there's a whole thing about like we might get 10 taxes. Like that was like we will bring yeah, he's like, no, like we have, like this is that is yes. I know that's a great sell. He couldn't tell me what it was financially because it reinstated like the next season, which is unheard of. And let's just say the athletes, as he put it, aren't going to be like that. I'm like, that's pretty good. And it's funny because none of the title line lawyer was just kind of a so they had to do each other and stuff like that. Well, his dad was a professional. So he's like, yeah, I love it. And I'm like, oh, it's in a guy market. This kid, like, his dad's put it it's a weird mix of so like super conservative, like you take an audit and then that's like so it's a 9% super like 10% like
All rise.
Good afternoon, counsel. Before I let the jury in, is everybody ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, plaintiff's here and ready to proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, the plaintiff is here and ready to proceed.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, didn't have to see her.
Perfectly fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is everybody ready for the jury to be let in?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You can let in the jury, Madam Bailiff.
All rise.
All right, please be seated. All right, we will go ahead and call the case to order. This is Eli Bully versus Tristan Nichols. Good afternoon, counsel.
Good afternoon.
Are the parties ready to proceed?
The plaintiff is present and ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Very good.
Same with the defense, Your Honor.
All right, why don't we go ahead and start with introductions?
Absolutely. Good afternoon. My name is Hannah Moore. Today I'm joined by my colleagues who will now introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Zainab Said.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Hannah Lay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Lydia Ferris.
Good afternoon.
Together we represent the plaintiff in today's case, Miss Elizabeth Bully.
All right, welcome.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Amelia Rush, and today I'm joined by my co-counsel. My name is Isaac Chitterwell.
Good afternoon, my name is Lane Stander.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Maya Salter.
Good afternoon.
Together we'll be representing the defendant in today's case, Mr. Tristan Nichols.
Very good. Plaintiff, any pre-trial matters?
Yes, Your Honor. First, we would like to invoke Rules 603 and 615, the presumed swearing in and constructive sequestration of all witnesses, barring party representatives.
The rule is invoked.
Our party representative, Miss Elizabeth Bully, will be constructively present throughout today's trial.
All right. I imagine your client will be constructively here as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the rule is invoked.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to direct your attention to a piece of case law, the Holding and Salter v. Ryan.
Okay.
This just clarifies that relationships are complicated. We anticipate that the defense will tell you today that the marriage between Miss Bully and Mr. Nichols started out as a contract marriage. This case law clarifies that even a marriage that starts out as a contract marriage can evolve and turn into one that's based on love.
Is that your understanding of the case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
With that, the plaintiff is ready to proceed into opening statements.
Very good. Anything else from the defense before we proceed to opening?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd just like the court to take note of one piece of case law. It's going to be Varma v. Blackwell. We'd just like you to take notice that there is a distinction between marriages of love and marriages that are based on business.
Okay. The court will take notice.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're ready for opening statements.
Very good. Plaintiff, you may open.
Yes, Your Honor.
Love appears when least expected. Today, you're going to meet two people who quickly became the it couple in the state of Morocco. Tristan Nichols and Elizabeth Bully. Their relationship didn't start out like most people's though. Because when these two met, it wasn't love they were looking for. It was a business partner. You see, Elizabeth could help Tristan satisfy his family and business interests, and in return, Tristan could help Elizabeth boost her career as an up-and-coming artist. It was a deal too good to pass up, and so the two of them agreed. That's how this relationship started. But that's not how their relationship ended. Because while these two were out at public events and posing for paparazzi, real feelings were developing underneath the surface. Every meal shared, conversation they had, and late nights spent together showed the two of them that this wasn't what they expected. This was real. And as their relationship continued, their love for each other grew deeper into true partnership and a true marriage. But unfortunately, you'll learn today that love was not enough for Tristan Nichols. Because 3 years into his marriage with Elizabeth, he began his affair with another woman. While he was out breaking his wedding vows, Elizabeth was at home. left completely in the dark, wondering what went wrong between her and the man she loved so dearly. Before the two of them got married, they signed a prenup. And that contract between the two of them, that's the bedrock of this case. You see, the prenup in today's case contained a clause that said if Tristan Nichols was unfaithful to Elizabeth Bully during their marriage, then the entire prenup is invalid. And that's exactly why we're here today. Today, Elizabeth Bully is seeking to invalidate their prenup based on the infidelity clause. Now, we expect the defense to tell you that the relationship between Elizabeth and Tristan, well, it never deepened into love. That it remained a financial agreement, and thus the prenup should remain valid. But we will prove otherwise. Today, we will prove, more likely than not, that Elizabeth and Tristan grew into a love-based marriage, and that Tristan was unfaithful during that marriage. And we'll do so by calling two witnesses to the stand. First, you'll hear from Tristan's old personal assistant, Alex. She'll tell you that during her time working for Tristan, she started to realize he would disappear suddenly. He would spend weekends away without explanation. She'll tell you that when he came back, things were off. His wedding ring wasn't found on his finger, it was at the bottom of his suitcase. And while his wedding ring wasn't on his finger, when he came back from these trips, there was a hickey on his neck. Then you'll hear from Elizabeth Bully herself. She'll tell you just how her and Tristan's relationship changed over time. She'll tell you, yes, it started out as a convenient arrangement, but it grew into so much more than that. Into companionship, trust, and love. She'll tell you when that all came crumbling down, and she found out her husband was cheating. Members of the jury, love appears when you least expect it, and sometimes so does betrayal. But just because someone decides to betray their marriage, doesn't mean they get to claim it was never real. That's why at the end of today's trial, we trust that you'll find there was infidelity in the marriage between Tristan Nichols and Elizabeth Bully, and you will invalidate your prenup. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Defense, do you wish to open?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
The plaintiff has nothing to lose and everything to gain. Marriage is work. Most of the time when people say that, they're referring to emotional labor. Because marriage, like all good relationships, it requires work. It requires time and effort in order for it to blossom. But in some cases, we can take that metaphor a little more further. In some cases, marriage is work. That's because in some cases, marriage is a business relationship. You'll learn about the marriage in this case. It was just that. A business relationship that gave the plaintiff everything. Because back in 2022, when the plaintiff and Mr. Nichols decided to get married, it wasn't for love. It wasn't for romance. It wasn't because they were head over heels for each other. It was business. Instead of a fairy tale proposal, they had a financial proposition that the plaintiff, she could pay off her loans, become the artist she always wanted. And for Mr. Nichols, he could make his mother proud, start moving up in his company. But before they got married, they signed a prenuptial agreement, that in the case of divorce, they'd keep their finances separate. And when the plaintiff did file for divorce in January of this year, she sat on her living room floor, flipping through divorce papers until she landed on the prenup. And she realized, I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. That's why we're here today. Because the plaintiff is accusing Mr. Nichols of invalidating their prenup by being unfaithful. By bringing this lawsuit, they have the burden of proof today. They have to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that's more likely than not that Mr. Nichols was unfaithful during their marriage. But unlike most cases, they're not the only one with the burden. My defense team and I, we decided to bring a burden of our own, an affirmative defense. We're going to prove to you by a preponderance of the evidence that this marriage, it was a business relationship. It's called a contract marriage. We're doing that because in contract marriages, prenuptial agreements, they're a little bit different than they usually are. To show you that this marriage was a contract relationship, we're going to bring you someone who saw the ins and outs of that relationship. His name was Nor Sullivan. He's the couple's personal photographer. He'll tell you, sure, that on camera the couples would, hold hands? What matters is what they were like when the cameras were off. And he'll tell you they were anything but romantic. He'll tell you they were both getting something out of it. And it wasn't love. Then you'll hear from Tristan Nichols. He'll tell you that despite what the plaintiff wants to believe, this marriage, it didn't evolve into anything else. They didn't have some deeper feelings beside their business arrangement. They had an agreement. You marry me, and we can help each other out financially. That agreement worked until the day that the plaintiff accused him of infidelity. Mr. Nichols will tell you that that accusation, it is far from the truth, and you'll learn it's not rooted in evidence. Members of the jury, this marriage was work, not hard work, convenience, business, stability, and that was all. That's why at the end of today's trial, we ask you to find Tristan Nichols not liable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, counsel. Plaintiff, please call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor, the plaintiff called Alice Lee for the stand.
All right.
Yeah, perfect. Good afternoon. Please introduce yourself to the members of the jury.
Hi, I'm Alex Lee.
What do you do for a living, Miss Lee?
I'm sort of a free spirit, so I guess I just live. I have an apprenticeship with Elizabeth Foley right now to explore my creative side. I'm finding a lot of freedom in mixed media collage.
How are you involved in today's case?
Okay, so I work for Ellie now, right? But I used to work for Tristan. I was his assistant at the Nichols Group, and I saw everything. Everything.
Let's talk more about your time working for Tristan. How did you end up becoming his personal assistant?
Okay, so it's kind of a silly story, right? I graduated with a degree in astronomy with a focus in deep space imaging, but I realized that I don't really vibe with other astronomers. I guess color mapping the H-alpha filters to hot pink just for kicks is kind of frowned upon. So I started working at this PR firm, right? And then one of my clients said, you would make a great personal assistant, and I know Tristan Nichols is looking for one. And I was getting sort of bored, so I said, okay, sure. And then I got the job.
Well, as his personal assistant, what were your day-to-day responsibilities?
Whatever I could assist with. I kept the calendar, I picked up dry cleaning, did manicures, fed the fish, that sort of thing.
How was it having Tristan as a boss?
Well, he was pretty chill as far as Nepo babies go. He let me keep my Celestron XL in the office, and that is not a small telescope. But he would sometimes just like vanish. Like, poof, gone, no notice.
When did you first notice Tristan disappearing without explanation?
The first time was in 2021, and I was really freaked because Tristan had a bunch of meetings and people were texting him like, we need that expense report by EOD, and I did not have that expense report. out. I sent texts from the iPad pretending to be Tristan, and I went to all the meetings and I took really good notes. I should have gotten a raise, but I didn't.
Did the whole disappearing act ever happen again?
Oh, not for years. Tristan met Ellie and didn't disappear again until like 2025. Then he just like started taking the PJ and the private jet and just off the grid all over again.
Did you ever find out what Tristan was doing during his time away?
I try not to be nosy, but I'm always in charge of unpacking, right? Because I know where everything is. And sometimes his clothes would smell like a perfume that I did not recognize. It wasn't Tristan's, it wasn't Ellie's, it wasn't mine. And then I just like find his wedding ring in the bottom of the bag. Like, I'd go to bring it back to him and I'd be like, hey, remember the symbol of love and fidelity for your wife? Here. So kind of awkward.
Is that the only thing that ever happened when you would come back from these trips?
Okay, so there was this one time, right? Tristan, I had gone to give him his wedding ring, and there was a bruise on his neck. And I don't want to assume the worst about people. Maybe it was like some freak neck bruising accident. But I'm being so for real, it looked like a hickey.
Objection at this time to improper expert testimony.
Briefly.
Yes, Your Honor, she doesn't have the medical expertise required to say what that bruise looked like, what that bruise could have been. She can't make the medical conclusion that it was a hickey.
Response.
Yes, I believe her testimony was it looks like a hickey.
The objection's overruled.
Yes, Your Honor. You were telling us about this neck bruise.
So yeah, it was like right here, and it was very purple and very hickey-like, and Tristan made me swear not to tell anyone about it.
You went in with Tristan on that trip?
No.
Did you ever confront Tristan about any of this?
Eventually I had to, because like, it gets to a point, you know? I had signed up to assist, not to deceive. So I was like, Tristan, you have got to tell me where you are going, or I'm going to quit. And I figured, you know, like, he needed me, so I thought I would get my answers.
Did he give you those answers?
He did not tell me where he had been going, so I quit. I'm a woman of my word.
So after you quit working for Tristan Nichols, what was your next job?
I just sort of floated for a while because LinkedIn is a nightmare and I wanted to find a job the traditional way. I'm so sick of the apps. But then I realized that my experiments with isotope color mapping might be more welcome in the art world. And Ellie's an artist, so I was like, can I have an apprenticeship? And she said, sure.
Did you ever tell Ellie about your experiences working with Tristan?
Not while I was working for him. I felt really bad about it, but it was my job, you know? And like, after that gig for NASA in Roswell, I'm under some crazy NDAs, so not telling anyone about a hickey kind of paled in comparison.
So having worked closely with both Tristan and Ellie, how would you describe their relationship?
Well, it was kind of confusing because Tristan had told me that his parents said he needed to find a wife before he could be CEO, and they met that very same night that he told me that. So first I figured it was just like a PR thing.
Was that true for the whole relationship?
They actually started to look really sweet together. Like Tristan put Eli's art up all over his office, and she would bring him lunch and look at him with these big doe eyes. And then when they were signing their prenup, Ellie was like, I'll sign whatever prenup you want because we're never breaking up. And Tristan was like, no secrets. Very romantic.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. I have no further questions.
Any cross dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, you're no stranger to manufacturing a story, are you?
Huh?
You're no stranger to manufacturing a story.
I'm sorry, I really don't know what you mean.
Sure, ma'am, in your own words, you think that it's important to manufacture your own image for the public.
Oh, right. Well, like, I was Tristan's, like, assistant, so I would help out with PR stuff.
But ma'am, what that that in mind, that you have a PR background, do you remember why Mr. Nichols started dating Miss Bully in the first place?
Oh yeah, I think it was because of that like weird little ultimatum that his parents had given him.
Exactly, ma'am. His parents said that either he found a wife and settled down, or he would not get a job as CEO of their company.
Yeah, it was very medieval.
Ma'am, when he hired you for your job as his personal assistant, part of the hiring process was that you had to help him convince his parents.
Right, and I'm, you know, parents like me, so I thought it would be helpful.
Ma'am, not just the parents liking you, not just his parents liking you, ma'am. It was your job to convince the world about their relationship. True?
Well, yeah, I was his assistant, so I kind of did whatever he wanted me to do.
All right, ma'am, let's talk about what he wanted you to do as his assistant. You would call the paparazzi to take pictures of their relationship.
Yeah,
And you had the paparazzi on speed dial so that they could capture the couple's private moments.
Yeah, because like, why would I want to have to type it every time?
Ma'am, it was your job to help sell that relationship to the point that you made sure that every single one of their dates was public.
For sure.
Let me ask you this, ma'am. If they were really in love, did he ever ask you to stop setting up those dates in public?
No, they were always photographed.
Exactly, ma'am. He never asked you to stop calling the paparazzi on them.
Right, and like totally fair, because they were a really cute couple.
Ma'am, he never asked you to stop making the public aware that their relationship was real.
No.
Ma'am, in that entire time that you were his assistant, he never asked you to stop manufacturing the image of their relationship.
No, I like always called the paparazzi because he was a public figure, sort of my job.
All right, ma'am, let me ask you this. How long did you work for him?
Oh, like 5 years.
All right, 5 years. In those 5 years, on average, how much time did you spend with him a day?
Like way too much. like he's fine, but it was a lot.
I'm looking for a number here, ma'am. How many hours a day?
I don't know, like I work like 40 hours a week, and then like he'd call me sometimes because he'd like lose stuff, and like I'd be like, did you put the keys next to the blender again because you think they go there? And
Ma'am, let's say 5 hours a day. That sounds right?
Okay, sure.
Okay, fine. 5 hours a day.
So sorry, I think it was like 5 years probably.
All right, ma'am. 5 hours a day for 5 years. It was your job to answer his text, his email, set up his schedule.
Yes.
And 5 hours a day for 5 years. Did you ever see a single romantic text from his wife?
No, I guess I didn't.
Ma'am, 5 hours a day for 5 years. Did you ever hear him take a romantic phone call from his wife?
No, I'm not sure how into like the PDA that they were.
And ma'am, 5 hours a day, that it was your job to set up his schedule for 5 years. Did he ever ask you to schedule out some time so he could go on a private date with his wife?
No, like we talked about this, like all of the dates were photographed because like they're so cute.
Ma'am, 5 hours a day. For 5 years that you spent with him, how many times did you hear her say, or hear him say that you loved her?
I don't think I did.
I want to talk about why you're still telling Miss Ada that their relationship looked real, all right?
Because it totally did.
Hold on, ma'am. You remember that when you stopped working for Mr. Nichols, you were out of a job.
Yeah.
You were unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
You were struggling.
Yeah, like just kind of experiencing life in its purest form.
Ma'am, all of that experiencing the hardships of life in its purest form, it all stopped when that plaintiff gave you a job.
Right, yeah. She said I could be her apprentice.
Exactly, ma'am. Ms. Woolley hired you.
Yep.
She gave you money.
Yeah, that's what a job means.
Exactly, ma'am. You know that if she loses this trial, she won't have the money to pay you anymore.
Yeah, that would be sad.
So you made it your job to come here and do whatever you could to make sure that she gets the most amount of money possible out of this lawsuit.
I mean, yeah, like I think what Tristan did is totally uncool. Like cheating on your wife, hickeys on your neck, that's so tacky.
Now, hold on, ma'am. In your own words, the reason you said you're here is because you think you owe the plaintiff everything.
Yeah, I like helped Tristan hide it for a really long time, and that wasn't very cool either.
Hold on, ma'am. It's your testimony that you owe the plaintiff everything because of your work with the defendant?
No.
It's your testimony
that you owe the plaintiff everything because she gave you a job.
Yeah. Ma'am, your one and only reason for being here today is so that she gets her biggest possible pay.
Yeah, because I know things. A lot of things.
Ma'am, you want her to get a big payday so she can keep paying you.
That would be nice.
Thank you. No further questions.
Redirect.
No, I just asked what it needs to be allowed to sit.
You are excused, thank you.
Okay, wait, can we like take a selfie? I've never been to court before.
Thank you, though.
Okay. Whatever.
Best you should call witness.
Yes, Your Honor, the defense calls Mr. Norsel over.
All right.
Right over there, Mr.
I
Slater.
know the drill. I know the drill. So help me God. Hi. Hi.
Could you please introduce yourself to the court?
Afternoon. My name is Noah Sullivan. And before you ask, no, I'm not in the mafia. That's a stereotype, and it's offensive.
Can you start by telling us where you're from?
From Montclair and North Jersey, you know, the better part, where we sort of know how to drive.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Slover?
I'm a freelancing paparazzi. I have a business card if you want one. It's not mine, but it's my Words with Friends password on the back. Okay, I'll leave it here for you.
All right, Mr. Slover. What do you do for a living? I'm sorry. Has your work involved either of the parties in today's case?
It is. I've spent the last 4 years covering Mr. Tristan Nichols, better part of his family as well. They're not the Vanderbilts or the Kushners, more like the Kardashians, actually. Money that's just evil, not ultra evil.
Can you tell us how you started covering the Nichols family?
Well, I was struggling through my three-quarters life crisis when I decided I wanted to cover something other than the Real Housewives sleeping with their not real husbands. I dedicated myself into the political arena, like Bon Jovi, with an arm pumped to the sky.
Mr. Slover, how does that relate to the Nichols family?
Well, I started covering them soon after that. But in fact, they were more like Bon Jovi's son in that trip to Cuba back in 2015. I found drugs, alcohol, and women of the night. Ooh. I found it all in Tristan.
Who is Tristan?
He's the CEO now of Nichols Food Group. I think legal spouse to Ellie Boley for the next hour 45.
Mr. Slover, how did your work on Mr. Nichols evolve?
Well, pretty soon after that, I started taking photos for him. I got a deal with Oopsie Lee. She made me an offer I couldn't refuse. By that, I mean she was suing me, and I would do anything to stop it.
What does taking photos have to do with Miss Lee suing you?
Well, it was her company that was suing me. All of a few photos of Tristy at lunch and a little bitty wiretapping. I get it. It's a two-party consent state, and I didn't have the party or the consent of either of the parties. But Tristan is sort of like the white whale of family scandals, and so I was willing to push my luck.
Can you tell us what that job offer was?
Well, Miss Oopsie Lee wanted me to take photos to help sell the relationship. I get it. You know, it seemed like a bad deal.
I want to explore why Miss Lee wanted you to take these photos. Were you given any other guidance?
She just said she wanted me to take photos to make the couple look happy. Now, I take a photo every time I'm at Dave & Buster's, then it seems so different.
What did you find when you followed the couple?
Well, when I was there, I found they had a very calculated lifestyle. They were only together when I was taking photos, and then when they were apart, they didn't spend much time together.
What did you think about their relationship?
Well, I thought it seemed odd, you know. I didn't know much about them outside the confines of what I was taking photos.
Did you see if they shared any friends or hung out with each other outside of these photo shoots?
No, ma'am. No mutual friends. A very calculated lifestyle for their fairy tale life.
How would you know where to find them?
Miss O.C. Lee, she was a genius in relationship image curation. She would call me up, and I would go wherever she said. I remember one time she had me photographing the couple while they were shopping for furniture that they never bought. It made headlines.
Do you know why Mr. Nichols and Miss Foley were in this relationship?
No, Miss, I wasn't really in the relationship, but from what I could tell, it seemed like they both got something out of it. I mean, Mr. Nichols got to seem like human, and, you know, Miss Foley.
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
In what way?
Your Honor, the witness is trying to assume that the dynamic of the relationship might have not been real, and based on the witness's answer, and based off of what they're seeing, there's no way they can step into the mindset of the two parties to assert whether or not this marriage was because of love or for some other reasons. It's speculative.
Response.
Yes, Your Honor, just like plaintiff counsel stated, this is based on what Mr. Slover saw. He's not testifying into the mindset of any other person. At this point, it's a matter of weight, not admissibility. Mr. Slover, can you finish what you were telling us about the couple?
Well, yeah. I mean, Tristy got to seem almost person-like, and Miss Foley got to rub elbows with the rich. You know, maybe they buy something.
How do you know they both got something out of this relationship?
Well, I can't say for sure, but from what I can tell, Mr. Nichols saw into revolutionary heirs as the new heir of the CEO. And then after that, Miss Foley started selling her out crazy style.
Did anything else stand out to you as a paparazzi about this relationship?
Yeah, I was doing my mischievous shutterbug shuffle moves when I saw the two at lunch. It was with Tristan's mom. They weren't married by this point. At least Ellie and Tristan. Miss Nichols was on her sixth, and I would happily be seventh husband.
Okay, Mr. Slover, what did you see at lunch?
Well, at lunch, Tristan started asking her for permission to get married.
Did you catch anything else?
Well, after that, she got up, left, and Ellie started talking about how Tristan did a really good job, and she didn't suspect a thing. I wasn't sure what Mrs. Nichols wasn't supposed to suspect, but it seemed like they fooled her better than Bill fooled Hillary.
After that discussion at lunch, what happened next?
Well, after that, the next time I saw the couple was at the prenup meeting.
Is it normal for paparazzi to be at a prenup meeting?
For this guy, it is. I mean, that's where you get all the juicy stuff. When I was there, I heard Ellie start talking about this infidelity clause. It's how my first wife almost got me. That, not so fast. I own whiteout.
Mr. Slover, would you recognize a copy of that prenuptial agreement between Miss Foley and Mr. Nichols if I showed it to you?
Of course. I paid $50 for that thing. I have it framed on my wall.
Your Honor, I'll be approaching Mr. Slover with the exhibit. Here you go, Mr. Slover. You can just flip to exhibit 2 for me.
I'm there.
Does it look the same as the last time you saw it? You recognize it?
Yeah, minus the commemorative frame, it's the same.
Your Honor, exhibit 2 is pre-admitted. Now, can you tell us a little bit about what that prenup process looked like?
Well, after that, I saw them start yelling and screaming. I remember Eli was crying at one point, and all the lawyers started to rush out of the room.
Do you know what was happening in that discussion?
Well, after Ellie left the room, or excuse me, after the lawyers left the room, Ellie immediately stopped crying. And at that point, the happy couple just burst into laughter. Afterwards, I heard them talking about how they needed to stage a fight to help sell the relationship. You know, that's actually what happened to my first wife and I. I was too perfect, and she was seeing 4 other men.
Mr. Slover, in all of your work with Mr. Nichols, did you see him engage in any illegal business practices?
Miss, he's not in the mafia either. You really gotta be more careful asking people that.
Do you know, besides the mafia, Mr. Slover?
No, not from what I could tell. I followed them a lot and I never saw any of those so-called illegal business practices.
In all of your work following Mr. Nichols, did you ever scan any evidence of cheating or infidelity?
No, and I would have loved to get that picture. I mean, with a photo like that, I got about 5,000 scratches.
Thank you, Mr. Salover. I have no further questions. Should we approach George?
Here you go.
Thank you.
Nice binder. Good job.
Any cross this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Good.
Sir, based on your direct, it actually sounds like you've got a lot of similarities with the defendant. You had a prenup?
Yes, ma'am, and about $6 billion less dollars.
Sir, what I actually heard though is that you took whiteout and you covered up a legal document?
Yes, ma'am. She never signed it because she didn't want to marry me in the first place.
So now you're saying this document was never signed.
Yeah, that's right.
Sir, do you think it's funny to try to cover up legal documents?
Well, ma'am, I don't make a habit of it, but I also didn't make a habit of marrying her.
That wasn't the answer to the question, sir. Do you think it's funny to cover up legal documents?
No? Do you see me laughing?
Sir, you said on direct examination that you've been sued in the past, true?
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
Slot to the lawsuit from UC Lee?
Absolutely. They were suing me for $4 billion. I can't even count that high.
Sir, that's not true. Who actually sued you?
Ma'am, it was the corporation.
Sir, it was the defendant's family who
Yeah,
slapped you with a lawsuit.
that's right.
Then you said on direct examination that you've never seen the defendant do illegal business practices?
No, I didn't see him carrying a big old bag of money down the street or nothing like that.
Again, sir, it's not true, is it?
From what I could tell, yeah.
Sir, I'm going to take you back to a moment you never mentioned on direct examination.
Okay?
April
I remember.
2022.
I'm there.
You overhear a conversation with the defendant.
Yes. Wait, sorry. Say
The
that again.
defendant serving the company's accountant.
Yes.
The defendant was talking about missing funds.
Yeah, I heard that.
Funds the IRS didn't need to see.
Yeah.
The defendant was told by that company accountant that that wasn't right.
Yeah, it seemed like they had a mix-up. A good old Freaky Friday situation.
Hold on, not a mix-up. That company accountant told the defendant that he needed to disclose those funds.
Yeah, one person was saying one thing, the other was the other.
Sir, that entire conversation you never brought up on direct examination.
No, ma'am, no one asked me.
Sir, you're a reporter, aren't you?
I'm a paparazzi. A little bit different, because I can't write that much.
All right, paparazzi. You never released that information to the public.
No, ma'am, it's not a great photo. It was a conversation.
Again, sir, never released it to the public.
No, ma'am, my job is to take pictures. Again, there wasn't a picture that day.
Okay, you had a camera with you, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't take pictures.
No, ma'am, I can't put the words in a picture.
Sir, yes or no, you actually have the opportunity to take pictures, but you put down your camera and you left.
It's right. Wasn't a good shoot.
Is that because you're under the defendant's thumb?
No, ma'am. I don't see his thumbs anywhere.
Really, sir? Because line 233 of your affidavit, did you not say you're under the defendant's thumb?
Ma'am, you'd have to explain what you mean.
Yes or no? It's your own words. You're under the defendant's thumb.
Ma'am, are you talking about the lawsuit?
I'm talking about your words, sir. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. If you're talking about the lawsuit, that's right.
Let's actually talk about that lawsuit. Because earlier, you told us that you had gotten sued. True?
That's right.
What was that lawsuit for?
Oh, ma'am, it was for illegal wiretapping. I took some photos of Tristy at lunch.
That was the first component. What's the second component?
Maybe it was for some sort of fraudulent paparazzi activity.
Actually, no, it wasn't. What's the second lawsuit?
And I'm gonna be honest, right now I'm going through 3 other divorces. You gotta be specific.
Right, so you remember the wiretapping. Did you happen to forget the stalking lawsuit?
Oh yeah, Mom, the legal paparazzi activity. You know, I'm always trying to get closer to my shop.
The one that was bleeding you dry, you forgot that one?
Yeah, I was playing for ChatGPT Premium to handle all my legal documents. And it wasn't working.
Sir, you forgot the lawsuit that was bleeding you dry? I'm confused. Yes,
No, ma'am, I didn't forget it. I'm gonna be honest, you gotta be specific.
the defendant's family with that lawsuit was bleeding you dry.
That's right.
Sir, you were desperate.
Absolutely, ma'am. I moved through this world quite desperately.
But that lawsuit got dropped completely, true?
Yes, ma'am. I think we're in the clear. Congrats.
You think you were in the clear because you agreed to help the defendant and his family.
Yeah, they asked me to come out here, testify.
See, sir, the truth is, you've taken money from the defendant's family.
Yes, ma'am, but I didn't steal it. If that's what you're asking, I want to be extremely clear.
That's
with
not
that.
what I'm asking, sir. Sir, every time you had scandalous pictures, you were paid by this defendant's family to bury it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, they're giving me much better than TMZ.
I mean, I'm listening to your direct examination to the things that you had to bury. You said women of the night?
Ma'am, I never buried a woman.
Sir, images, you referred on direct examination. You saw Kristen with women that you never released to the public.
Yeah, that's true.
Alcohol, you mentioned that.
Absolutely, he was getting a little boozy.
Drugs.
Yeah, right, the good old Mary Jane.
Sir, the reason why you hid all of that evidence, why you buried it, is because this defendant's family was paying you.
Yeah, that's right. They shook me over as staff.
Have you ever said no to taking money from the defendant's family?
Did one time Tristy paid me $5 to run down the street. I said, you gotta make it at least 6, and he walked away.
Sir, is it your testimony that there has been a day where you haven't taken money from the defendant's family?
Not from his family, no.
From the defendant?
Besides that $5, no, not really, ma'am.
Truth is, every time you were offered money on the table, you said yes.
Yeah, that's right. It was a good business relationship.
And now, you know you're on thin ice, true?
Ma'am, I feel pretty stolid in this stand, don't worry. It's all good here.
Not on thin ice with the defendant's family? I mean, those are your own words.
With the defendant's family, yeah, ma'am. I thought you thought I was in the Arctic or something bad here.
So you're on thin ice with the defendant's family, I have that right?
Yeah, you know, it's a tumultuous relationship.
And just last month, you get a call, true, before this trial.
Yes, ma'am. Last month I got several calls.
Sir, you got a call about this case, true?
Yeah, they asked me to come down here, testify, tell you what I know.
Counsel, you are out of time. Please wrap up.
Who asked you, sir?
I believe it was Oopsie Lee.
Not the defendant's lawyers?
It was Oopsie Lee and the lawyers. It was like a conference call deal.
That's time.
Thank you,
counsel.
sir. Nothing further.
Thank you. Any redirect of this witness?
No, Redirect, Your Honor, we just asked that Mr. Slover was allowed to step down.
You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I'm leaving this here.
All right. We will be in recess for 10 minutes. Council, let's plan to be back at 4:45. Let's all rise to excuse the jury, please.
told me that he didn't want a appraiser. He wanted a real artist.
Did you ever see Tristan Nichols again after that?
I didn't think that I would. But I was teaching these still life classes at the community center, and I guess his family had invested in their new construction, so he'd come by to check it out, and he asked me for coffee. Turned into sort of a weekly thing. We were just friends then.
What changed?
Tristan came to coffee one day and he looked nervous. He said that he had an idea, something where we could both get what we wanted. He said that we should fake date for the press because his family would be happy and I would get more publicity for my art.
Did you agree?
Yeah.
Why?
Tristan's family had connections that I had been trying to make for years. If all I had to do was hold his hand in fancy restaurants, then why not?
Is that what it was? Holding his hand in fancy restaurants?
And at the MoMA, and at ribbon cuttings and movie premieres, and I mean, for everything, for months, everything was a photo op. But then we had this gallery opening. I can tell he didn't feel well. He gets this little crease between his eyebrows whenever his head hurts, and he was flinching every time the bulbs went off. So I told everyone that I had a creative epiphany and I had to go to the studio. I grabbed him and I took him to a park instead. He never let go of my hand.
Were you in love?
I realized that I was, and I was terrified. That wasn't what he'd signed up for. We had made an arrangement. It was supposed to be business. I was supposed to be a business partner. So I tried to break it off. I told him that I loved him and that it wasn't fair because it wasn't what he signed up for.
How did Tristan respond when you told him you loved him?
He leaned in and he put his hand on my cheek. He told me that he loved how honest I was. That he loved how his jacket smelled like my perfume after I'd borrowed it, and how I couldn't finish a movie without trying to guess the end. He told me that he loved me, and I believed him.
Miss Foley, we need to talk about your marriage. You said that Mr. Nichols told you he loved you. Remember that ever changed?
I didn't want to believe that it could. But about a year after we were married, he stopped telling me where he was going on trips. He started locking his phone when he was home. I knew that something wasn't right. But I convinced myself that I was wrong for not believing him.
Did that change?
New Year's last year. We had a gala at a hotel. Tristan and I got into some stupid fight. I can't even remember what it was about, and then I didn't see him until it was time to go home.
What happened between the two when you got home?
He hung his coat up by the door and went for the stairs. I went to check his pockets because he was always leaving his keys in his pockets, and I found a key card to a suite at the hotel.
What did you do when you found a key card in your husband's pocket?
I put it in my purse and I went to bed. But when I put my head down on the pillow, I realized that he smelled like jasmine. I don't own jasmine perfume. I couldn't sleep, so I went back to the hotel and I asked them who the key card was registered to, and I don't think that they were supposed to tell me, but I was Tristan Nichols' wife, so I got what I wanted.
Who did that key card belong to?
Gail Melky.
Objection. Hearsay. May I be heard?
Yes.
Your Honor, she's referring to a statement from hotel staff that a key card in her husband's coat pocket belonged to Gail Melky. That's an out-of-court statement they're offering for its truth.
Response.
Rule 801 defines hearsay as an out-of-court statement in use to prove the truth of the matter asserted. We're not using this statement for its truth value, and And in fact, we're happy to provide the jury with a limiting instruction that it not be taken back. Instead, we're using it for subsequent action. If I may make an offer of proof.
Briefly.
Yes, Your Honor, I expect Ms. Foley will go on to testify that after she found out that Gail Melton, someone that her husband knew, had owned that key card, that she filed for divorce. Subsequent action for filing for divorce is filed for divorce.
Final word.
Your Honor, they have to prove today that my client was unfaithful to her. The fact that this key card in his pocket belonged to his ex-girlfriend, Gail Melton, is absolutely being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. We don't believe it to be offered for subsequent action here. It's still clear saying it's inadmissible.
The objection sustained.
Yes, Your Honor, we move to strike that testimony.
It's true.
Yes, Your Honor. After you found that key card, did you ever confront Tristan?
I went back home and I went up to her room. He was still asleep. I looked at him and I realized that there was a hickey on his neck. I left and I filed the papers that morning.
Why didn't you confront Tristan?
I didn't think that I'd be able to go through with it. For months, I convinced myself that I was crazy. That Tristan would never cheat on me because he loved me. You told me that you loved me. And I love you too, but I can't forgive you for this. I just can't.
Ms. Foley, nobody did. The plaintiff said you had nothing to lose in today's trial. Is that true?
I have lost the love of my life. I have lost the marriage that I ever known. I've lost him.
Ms. Foley, before I begin, do you need a moment?
Sorry. Okay.
You good?
I'm not, but let's do this.
And I understand this is difficult for you, so I'm going to just try to get you out of here quickly, but we need to talk about some of the things you said on direct, okay?
Okay.
Now, first I'm going to talk about something that you and I can probably both agree on. You'd agree with me. Your relationship with Tristan started out as a contract marriage, isn't that true?
That's right.
He approached you and offered that relationship so that he could become CEO of his company, right? Didn't you?
Yes.
Since at the time, you were having some financial issues, weren't you?
Right. I mean, I was broke. I wanted to make a career out of art, but I didn't know how. And it just seemed perfect. It seemed like everything that I could have asked for, and then it was.
I want to get specific on what you mean when you say that you were $20,000 in debt before you met my client.
Right. There was a semester of art school that I realized very quickly I couldn't afford.
You only had a few $100 in your bank account.
That's true.
And you were struggling to find work at that time.
I was.
I want to talk about what you gained after getting together with Tristan Nichols. Ma'am, you went from a few $100s in your bank account to making millions of dollars a year. Isn't that true?
That's right.
And you started living a lifestyle you had never even dreamed you could live before.
It was quite an adjustment. Yeah.
And you didn't want to give that up, did you?
What do you mean?
You didn't want to a year?
I don't think that I have.
Ma'am, is it your testimony you still make millions of dollars a year?
No, I have savings, but my art recently hasn't been doing very well.
Then I want to address your claims that you and Tristan were in love. Ma'am, did you think to bring any text messages between you and your husband today?
No,
Ma'am, do you not have any text messages with you talking about how you love each other?
no, we say that in person.
Ma'am, you were together for what, 4 years?
Yes,
No text saying I love you?
not that I have. I mean, my texts auto delete. I don't keep things.
How about call logs? Do you have any call logs showing that you would call frequently?
No, I don't think so.
Do you have any pictures together?
Oh, we have tons of pictures together.
Did you
Every
bring-
date was publicized.
Ma'am, you didn't bring this to court, did you?
No,
Why not?
because they've been printed in every magazine since they were taken.
You just said they were printed in magazines. Do you have those magazine clippings with you?
No, I'm not a scrapbooker.
Ma'am, what you just said is that every photo you can think of with the two of you was published in magazines.
Yes,
Don't you think that's because your relationship was about business?
no,
Ma'am, who's your best friend?
it was Tristan.
Do you have any other friends?
Ash Sanders. We were friends when we were kids.
Okay, so you had a childhood friend. Did you ever talk to Ash Sanders about how much you loved Tristan Nichols?
Yes.
Did you text with him?
No, Ash is a terrible texter. I think we talked on the phone.
So ma'am, across friends, family members, even with your own husband, not a single text message at all saying you loved him.
I guess not.
Well, with that in mind, I want to talk a little bit more about why you filed this lawsuit, okay?
Because my husband cheated on me.
Well, I want to follow up on that, ma'am. You said you suspected that because you smelled gasoline on him?
Yes.
Ma'am, the truth is, you were talking to attorneys about getting a divorce before that. Isn't that a fact?
I talked to lawyers when he first started putting up walls. I was scared. I didn't want it to be true, but I felt like I had to do something to try and protect myself.
Now, before asking your husband a single question about what he was doing, before talking to him, you went to lawyers?
I don't trust him to be honest with me anymore.
Ma'am, you don't trust him? You were with him for 4 years.
And it's all gone now. It's all gone because he cheated, and I can't see him the same way anymore.
Ma'am, once again, you went to lawyers and you didn't speak to him before that hotel trip, before you smelled that jasmine on him, before that hit you saw. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Ma'am, just need your yes or no. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Then I'm going to talk a little bit more about why you might have gone to lawyers before the man you're claiming that showed love, okay? Ma'am, what do you think your net worth will be if you win this trial?
I don't know.
Is it your testimony? You don't know?
Probably somewhere around 3 billion, I think.
$3 billion?
Yeah.
You didn't remember that?
I don't know the number, the exact number off the top of my head. I wasn't sure what you were asking for.
Ma'am, the number you gave me in your deposition was $3 billion. Isn't that true?
That's right.
Ma'am, this year you've made less than $50,000
Yes.
from one lawsuit. You would go from making less than $50,000 a year to $3 billion to your name.
This isn't about the money for me.
That wasn't my question, ma'am. You would go from making less than $50K a year to $3 billion in your name. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Redirect.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Miss Foley, was your marriage real?
When Tristan and I got married, there was a section of the wedding that wasn't on the schedule. Pulled me aside
Objection and non-responsive.
Overruled.
Yes, Your Honor.
and he gave me
hate them. But he was going to do his best every day to try and be the husband their daughter deserved. I refused to believe that that wasn't true. I refused to believe that he would say that and not mean it.
No further questions.
Mary Cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Ma'am, how many people were at your wedding?
Hundreds.
Hundreds of people at your wedding? Ma'am, that was publicized, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was in the tabloids?
I'm sure.
His mom was there?
Yes.
He told you if you wanted to get married to you so his mom would make you CEO, isn't that a fact?
Objection.
Rule.
When we first met.
That's a yes to my question?
Yes.
Nothing further.
May Ms. Foley be excused.
Vince, do you have any witnesses you wish to call?
Yes, Your Honor. We'll ask Mr. Nichols to take the stand.
All right.
Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tristan Nichols.
Where are you from, Mr. Nichols?
I'm from Butler, Murata, where I grew up and where my family's business started.
Do you work with your family's business?
I do. The CEO of the Nichols Food Group, we're one of the largest food-based conglomerates in the world.
Are you close with your family?
Of course. You know, it's just my mom and my younger sister, Kira. So we really look out for each other, even if our family is a little bit different than most.
What do you mean different than most?
I mean, it's different. Growing up in the Nichols family, the expectations are different. My mom didn't create one of the most successful businesses in the world without a little bit of grit. My whole life has been on one path since the start, and most of it has been spent sticking to that path.
Mr. Nichols, do you know why you're here with us in court today?
I do. My partner, Elizabeth Bowley, filed for divorce.
Take a step back. Why did you two first get married?
The shorter answer is for my mom, for our company, for my career. But the longer answer starts a few years before that, when I was a teenager.
Why?
Well, when I first moved away from home, I started to lose control. A lot of the stress that came with growing up in the Nichols family started to catch up with me. And my doctor prescribed me something to help me deal with that. But it wasn't enough.
Why not?
Addiction can feel like you're hungry for something that never quite gets there. And I didn't realize I had a problem until I was in an accident and my car was wrapped around a tree off the highway.
What did your family do?
Overnight, I wasn't the bright young star anymore. I was the scandal. The cover-up my mom had to organize, and it felt like I could never make things right again with her. That is, until she got diagnosed.
With what?
Moderate Alzheimer's. I had never even seen her sick before. Suddenly, I wasn't just caring for myself. I had to look out for her. I had to look out for my family.
What did that mean for you?
That's when my mom gave me her ultimatum. She wanted me married. She didn't want me to take over the company unless I was clean, and because she didn't think I could do that by myself, she wanted me married. She insisted I get married.
To who?
It didn't matter. At the time I was with Gail Melky, but he was, for me, mixed up in a lot of the same stuff I was. And so I just wanted something simple, something realistic, no strings attached. I wanted something normal.
What do you mean?
I was at the lowest point in my life, and I didn't have time to imagine falling in love. What I needed was a lot to put on a person. And I wanted whoever it was to know exactly what they were getting into. I wanted a contract marriage.
Mr. Nichols, what did you do?
It's not an easy thing to pitch. I was dealing enough with my mom and with the company, and so I sort of just stumbled into it.
How so?
I met Elizabeth at a Nichols gala. She was a caterer, but she kept telling me she wanted to be an artist. I remember she seemed convinced that her big break was right around the corner. And I thought, I don't know, maybe the universe has a funny way of pulling things together.
What do you mean, Mr. Nichols?
My mom has always been an awfully serious person. But as she got worse, she became fascinated with painting. Collections that had been boxed up my whole life were suddenly displayed around the house, and I don't know. I thought maybe if I could help Elizabeth, then maybe that was my way of making things normal and right again.
Can you tell us what your relationship with Miss Foley was like?
It was a business partnership. She has, and always has been, my partner in business. If she wanted something other than that, she never told me that.
When did you two get married?
It was about a year later.
Mr. Nichols, I want to be very clear. Were you straightforward with Miss Foley about wanting a contract marriage?
Of course I was. Of course I was. I told her from the very beginning why we were there. We were on the same page. I'm not naive as to what I offered her. She wanted the Nichols name, and she helped me keep mine.
At that point, why did you two decide to enter into this contract marriage?
My mom kept getting worse. I mean, she was in Switzerland getting the best care possible, and still she just kept getting worse. And if she wasn't there to see me get married, then what was any of this for?
Mr. Nichols, did you hear plaintiff counsel ask Miss Foley about the nature of your relationship?
I did.
Can you respond and provide the jury with your own description of what the marriage was like?
It was contractual. She understood what she was getting, and I understood what I was getting.
Objection, that's speculation.
What way?
The testimony that Ms. Foley understood what she was doing. It would require Mr. Nichols to delve into her.
Response.
Your Honor, Mr. Nichols is here today to defend himself against the suit plaintiff counsel has brought. At this point, it's a matter of weight and not admissibility. He's welcome to testify to his own experiences, and they can delve into that on cross-examination.
Sustained, just rephrase.
Motion to strike.
Mr. Nichols, can you please provide a description of your marriage for us?
We had an agreement. We were clear from the very start what our relationship was, and it was contractual.
Mr. Nichols, earlier today we heard an excerpt of your wedding vows. This was a contractual relationship. Why did you say those things?
I know it's hard to understand, but that wedding wasn't for us. It was for my mom. It was for the company, and it was to make everything seem normal.
Mr. Nichols, were you here when Miss Foley testified that it started as a contract marriage but developed into a romantic relationship?
I heard her say that.
At any point during this marriage, did the relationship turn into a romantic one?
No. I mean, we lived separately. We had our separate lives, and I thought that was good enough for her. That's what she had told me she agreed to, and I thought that was good. I thought it was solid, and I thought it made sense.
Mr. Nichols, have you been here today when we've heard testimony about you involved in other relationships?
I heard that.
Is any of that true?
Of course not. The last thing I needed was for something to distract me from what was important, which was doing right by my mom and by my family's business.
Mr. Nichols, have you heard testimony today that you were disappearing out of the country for several days?
I did.
What were you doing?
Like I said, my mom was in Switzerland. When I visited her, I would go and I would spend some time with her. I just wish Elizabeth asked me. If she had asked me where I was going, if she cared enough to look into it, I could have explained. But she didn't give me that chance.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. No further questions at this time. May I proceed?
Please.
You just called Miss Foley a liar.
What she said wasn't true.
Saying that today.
I've always said that, ma'am.
Claiming that your relationship with Miss Foley, it was just a business relationship.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Tell me, Mr. Nichols, is taking a swing at investors good business?
It depends on the deal.
Well, I'll give you an example. An investor offering you $1 million? Throw a punch at him, you think that's good business?
You're talking about Mr. Salter. I had no intention of doing business with him.
Well, hang on. Let's break that down. When you and Miss Foley were dating, an investor insulted your trust.
That's right.
So you took a swing at him
That's right.
in the middle of the boardroom.
Yes, ma'am. What he said was insulting and was not someone I wanted to do business with.
Is losing out on $1 million good for business?
Well, ma'am, I hate to sound capricious, but my company's worth a lot more than that. Losing $1 million is not very much in the scheme of things.
That wasn't an answer to my question. Yes or no? Is losing $1 million good business?
For me, it doesn't matter.
Let's move on to when you proposed to Miss Foley.
Okay.
Because your attorneys, they got up here and they said that there was never a proposal, right?
Ma'am, that's not what I remember.
In opening statement. When the attorneys that you hired got up here and said there wasn't a proposal, just a business deal, do you remember that?
And that's not what I heard them say, no.
That's okay. Let's just talk about that proposal.
Okay.
Because you thought maybe you could just release a press release to let the world know that you're finally getting there.
That's what my mom had mentioned at one point.
But you said no.
Yeah, I didn't think it seemed normal. I mean, if so much of this is about selling the relationship, then we had to sell the relationship.
Is it your testimony today that you proposed to Miss Foley because you needed to sell the relationship?
Ma'am, that was certainly part of it. I wanted her to be equally honored within that.
I've got your deposition in my hand. What do you think you said when I asked you why you proposed to Miss Foley?
Ma'am, it was for her and it was for the business. That's the truth.
I'm now reading from the defendant's deposition. From line 108. Question, and how about your engagement? Didn't you push back from your mother's original proposal idea? Yes. My mother wanted me to simply release a press proposal that Ellie and I were engaged. But I decided Ellie and I should have a public proposal. It's not a big deal. I just thought Ellie deserved something more than a press release.
That's right. That's what I said. It was for her and for the media.
You didn't tell us in your deposition that it was for the media.
Ma'am, I talk about the whole relationship being for the media. Read any other line.
Let's talk about when.
Okay.
At your wedding, you and Miss Foley exchanged gifts.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this was a very public wedding, there were a lot of guests.
That's right.
But when you exchanged gifts, that was in private.
That was one of the gifts we exchanged. That's right.
It's just the two.
Yeah.
You know that Miss Woolley's parents died when she was young.
I do.
You know that before they died, they gave her a toy paint set.
I think I remember her telling me that. That's right.
You know, that's actually the reason why she became an artist.
Yeah. You know, small gifts early on can be important.
Come on, this wasn't just a small gift. You could just go to Walmart and get this gift.
The paint set? No. I think it got discontinued.
You don't think it got discontinued. You know Mr. Nichols.
Yes, ma'am. We bought the discontinued company as part of that.
You acquired the manufacturer of a children's toy set?
Yeah, they did sea monkeys and paint sets. Wasn't a big deal.
You say it wasn't a big deal. You personally went to the warehouse where those toy sets used to be manufactured.
That's right.
You got Miss Woolley that paint set yourself.
Yes, ma'am. We weren't in a romantic relationship, but I wasn't cold-hearted. She was my friend and my partner.
Right, she was your friend and your partner, so let's look at what you promised your partner
Okay.
on your wedding.
Okay.
I'm now retrieving Exhibit 7, pursuant to stipulation 18. This was already admitted prior to today's trial. On your wedding day, you promised your wife to be, I will not keep a room in my life that you can't walk into. Whatever I am, whatever I have, whatever I've done, you'll know it before anyone else. Everything I own with you now. And everything I am is yours to say. I'm not marrying you to become anything. I'm marrying you because you're the first real thing I've ever found. That's what you promised.
Ma'am, I could see her reading my vows, and no, that's not what I promised her. That's what was written into our vows. But you have to understand, our wedding was not for us. Those vows were not for us. That was not a promise I was making my wife. That was part of the deal. That was part of the media around it, ma'am. It's not a promise.
Well, hang on. You just told us that that promise was written into your vows. It was written into your vows by you.
Yes, ma'am.
You
We
worked
arranged the
hard on
marriage.
these vows.
Yes, ma'am. I thought they were very convincing.
Let's talk about why you keep insisting that this was a business deal.
Because it was.
You've got $3 billion on the line.
Yes, that's my understanding of what the prenuptial agreement is.
It's half of your network,
Yes, ma'am.
half of your shares in your family company.
That's right.
But you don't just have money on the line.
What do you mean?
You believe that if you lose this trial, your mother will oust you as CEO.
That's what she keeps saying, but my mom keeps talking about reconvening the board. And every time she does, she's bringing up people that haven't worked there in years. She's bringing up people that aren't even around anymore. She doesn't know what's going on.
Mr. Nichols, you'll do anything to win this trial.
Of course.
No further questions.
Any redirects?
Your Honor, if I can ask first, how much time do we have left?
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you. Mr. Nichols, was your proposal to Miss Woolley an indication of love for her?
No, of course not.
Did you ever tell Miss Woolley that was the case?
No, she knew what she was getting into.
Mr. Nichols, was your wedding day gift to Miss Woolley an indication of love for her?
No, that was for my mom and for the company.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. No further questions.
You can step down, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will give time for our jurors to finish their evaluations. Adam, if I can have you join me up here. Adam will facilitate some feedback from our wonderful guest judges. We are, for the purposes of this trial, adjourned. When you all are done, please give me a thumbs up. We're on live stream, so we won't spoil for the live stream. No, I'm not crowd related, don't worry.
Oh,
There's a different thing going on right now.
towards the separate world now.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Okay.
Mr. Illustrator, do you want to join me when you're done?
We're good. Great. We are going to do some judge feedback, and then we'll get to the results. So let's start with Mr. Hubbard.
I made Jonathan Hubbard, 2L at did in Ohio State. Did some concept fees on the year. I think I'll just do my favorite moments. Jenna, genuinely like pick any one of the cross answers for this first character. Where like you're this kind of ditzy, but also kind of really smart actually character. So many of them just hit that perfect moment. This other attorney takes such a too big of a swing, and you just pay them back in full for it. Absolutely love it. On the other side, Mitchell. Oh my gosh, I love the emotion in like this second part of the trial, where you could see almost like this underlying kind of rage to it, that you genuinely are upset about this. And I think that's something that's like can be really hard to do effectively. And it's like the little things like that I love to see. I could do the standard, this is an amazing round with amazing competitors, because it was an amazing round with amazing competitors. So I'm just happy I saw it.
Move on to Mr. Quilt.
Hi everyone, my name is Gordy Quilt. This is my first time sitting as a judge at Gauntlet. I've been in a lot of Gauntlet rounds. I've seen it from a lot of different angles. So it was really interesting to be kind of on this side of the jury box here. I'll do my favorite moments as well. For Jenna, it's definitely during the cross of Tristan Nichols when I went to look over at the crossing attorney and I just saw the absolute tears on the face that had evaporated while I wasn't paying attention. Because it was just one of those things where it's like I didn't even need to know. Like I need to look at you to know that like for the last 5 minutes you were like locked in a way that like most people can't just stay locked in. Yeah. And for Mitchell, I think my favorite moment was during the cross. I love when a witness just lets themselves be real. And I think after she gets up there and she spends this whole time reading the vows, I love that you just went on a diatribe and you let yourself just speak. And I thought that felt so real and so human. I think you guys both did a great job, especially on the party reps, of just grounding your performance in something that is so relatable. So fantastic job to both of you.
Fantastic round. This was a privilege and a joy to watch. My favorite moment from plaintiff character was on cross when you were asked how much of him did you see? You said way too much. I thought it was killer line. And for the defense character, I thought a little when you were asked like this is no laugh matters, that I'm not laughing, and then you made this little bad fantastic. And for the sympathies, I thought for the plaintiff, there are so many moments for both of you to choose from. I really like the moment when at the beginning of the cross you were asked, like, are you ready to go? Or, no, it was, are you okay? You said, like, I'm not, but let's get this over with. I thought that was awesome. And for the defense, I really liked the eviction angle. Like, you had a voice crack moment at the beginning of that direct. And it was a different, like, there's so much emotion when it comes to divorce in this case, and I thought you sort of brought in another angle for the emotion. Because, you know, your spouse didn't cheat on you. And so I imagine it'd be harder to pull in the emotion. I thought you did a really fantastic job.
Thank you.
Fantastic job, both of you, and good luck.
I'm Stella Schumacher.
Before we get to Stella, one thing we do at the Gauntlet every year that I think is the most exciting part of the Gauntlet is that we have an alternate like most of these competitions. The alternate is our 17th person in case anyone gets sick, cancels last minute, and so we are so excited that Stella is not only our final round judge and alternate this year, but will be live in action next year at the Gauntlet. For those watching at home. Make it to the end. Jenna was our alternate last year, and is now assuming the alternate position. So I will now pass the floor to Stella.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm Stella Schumacher. The mock is for mock trial. I am so excited to be here. Both of you did incredible. I would say if I were to go into my favorite moments, obviously I am a character with this at heart. I love characters. So I just loved all of the quips that you guys were making the entire time, and I also felt that each of your characterizations really justified your actions with each side. If I were to point out one line from each, I loved the wedding ring part where you're like, oh, this little symbol of love and devotion. Here you go. I love that. And the women of the night, ooh, like that was fantastic.
Let's go back to Tanner.
Tanner Neidhart, I'm an attorney here in Austin. Great, good job to both of you. Elizabeth, what I really loved was when you were testifying, you could see it, we could see that you were verbalizing what had happened to you. And so for all of you as attorneys, future attorneys, and for witnesses, when you're doing that, and you can see the person telling you what they see in their mind, it becomes so much more real. And that was what I thought was the highlight of what you did. So it's not a line or anything, it's just a way of presentation that was wonderful. Well done. And then on the defense side, I thought the strength was the only emotion that you showed wasn't ever about the wife, it was about the business. So you did show emotion. I thought that was an interesting decision to be made, and I caught it and liked it. I thought losing $1 million and you didn't care showed that you were shrewd enough to enter into a marriage that was just about business. So very good. The last thing is for all the attorneys, I thought the crosses were excellent because it's so hard with witnesses that were this good and you had to rein them in. One tip for you is when they're so far, you've got the ditzy comments and you've got the mafia comments and everything, which are all great for them, but for you as attorneys, the way that you can box them in is to use their words. So you have to meet them where they are. And so she wants to act like this. All right, then I'm going to use your word that means the same thing that you had more formalistically written on your notebook. And that gets you there. Great job to all of you. Thank you.
Continue down the line.
My name is Kendall Hanks. I'm an appellate litigator at heart, so I definitely was trying very hard to pay attention to the witnesses instead of the lawyers, which is usually what I do. What Tanner didn't tell you is that he was also a trial judge, an actual trial judge, so he knows much better what it's talking about than I do. But this is spectacular. All of these, the witnesses, obviously the competitors, and the team, you can tell how much work went into this. I mean, listening to what everyone said so far, I don't know what to add other than to say one thing that I did notice is that, and this is something that I can't tell you how important it is in real trials, demeanor when you're not on the stand. Like really, like jurors pay attention to everything. And I remember sort of like looking over and peeking, and I was like, oh my God, I should stare on her face. I was like, it's real life. And I understand that there are very particular parts that you're playing at different times, and but the time that you spend know how traditionally important it is in these sorts of competitions, but I will tell you it is immensely important in real trials. So kudos to both of you. I think there was one moment I looked over and you were sort of you were in your velvet tracksuit. You're like looking at your phone. I'm like, oh my god! And then when you got in the stand, I was like, okay, I think I get it now. And so really, really well done. Very compelling, very easy to watch, very hard to turn away from. So I'm really impressed by all of you and the lawyers as well. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't believe you're so thank you for doing this. It's really great to watch.
All right. Hey everyone, I'm Laura Bach. I did AMTA all 4 years, went to nationals all 4 years, double All-American. They did not have this when I was there, so I'm very jealous of you that you guys get to do this. This is amazing. I did mock trial for law school, and now I'm a litigator here in Austin. So I've gotten to see some real trials and comparing to the mock trials. And just strongly echo, I mean, you guys are great. Just for all that experience, you guys are some of the top witnesses I've ever seen. It was phenomenal. Some of my highlights, very hickey-like. I thought that was such a great line. After the objection in particular, purest form of life, I'm paraphrasing these, but I want to get off the apps and find a job the old-fashioned way. I thought that was excellent. I've never buried any woman. And I also had the pleasure of judging you earlier. So just getting to see your range across all 4 characters was like really exceptional.
Thank you.
For your more serious characters, both of you guys have such excellent backstories and attention to detail, and it was the best. It made sense to me. All of your actions made sense to me in a way that maybe I hadn't seen in previous rounds. I thought the crease in his eyebrows detail was excellent, and trying at the table, as everyone said, was great. And then I hadn't heard the drug story, but I thought looping that in with the art, like, just tied a lot of things together. And I really liked the line, she was my friend and partner. Like, I didn't have to be awful to her and could still not be in love with her, and I thought that was really good. So great job, everyone. Yeah.
We are going to introduce our 2 teams, and then we'll get to what you're probably waiting for, the results. On the plaintiff side of the case, from Indiana, we have Jenna Horvath. And joining Team Jenna was Team UCLA. On the defense side of the case, our witness and team is Mitchell Leander from Team Rhodes. And they are joined by our team from Emory. We'll pass it over to Stephen, who has the results.
All right, everybody. We're going to get to the results in just a moment. I'm not going to belabor this, but I do need to give a couple of shout-outs, final shout-outs. You might have noticed, but we had some courtroom illustrations happening. Our courtroom illustrator sketched not 1, not 2, but 3 sketches of each of you from this final round. And so I'm going to give these to you in just a moment. The most beautiful sketches, thank you so much for joining us. That makes this experience that much more special for us. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not giving them to you right this moment because the 3rd and final sketch has winner and runner-up written on it with the artist's signature. So it's going to stay over here, and then we'll give you your hardware, okay? All right. It was an honor to host everybody, especially the finalists, for the first time here at Texas for the Gauntlet. It was an incredible experience and a great weekend. This final round was extremely close. It was a 5-4 decision. It came down to a single check mark. You've heard that before. It's the kind of final round you want, and it is my privilege to announce that the winner of this year's Gauntlet is Jenna Horvath.